Check, check. It's one half of the Enveonline podcast. You rocking with your host, Son of a Jones, and today, for the people that's gonna watch this on the playback, I got a special gem for hip hop. I got a special gem that I stumbled upon. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to turn that down, Ty. Don't mess that up. I got a special gem for hip hop. So I was on my social medias and I saw a nice advertisement from the company Bars Over BS. And as I said before, I clicked on it, stumbled upon it. I didn't find the artist that I wanted, so I went scrolling through and saw this dope artwork. So I'm gonna show this for the camera for the people that's gonna watch this on the playback. I'm old school. I'm an 80s baby. So I remember what it was like going into the mom and pop shops, supporting artists, actual buying physical copies. So I appreciated this when I saw this on the website. I saw a little bio that you was from Long Island. I used to live in Long Island, so I said, yo, I got to check this out. And when I clicked on it, I was like, man, when I finally got to my house and I listened to it, I was like, yo, this brother is dope, man. So I first want to salute you because my first introduction to you was this tape from you and Wavy. So before I even get into the questions I got, big salute. I definitely enjoyed the album that you put out, produced by Wavy. It was well produced, great storytelling, great rhymes, and an overall good project. So I want to introduce people on the playback. When I put this out there on YouTube, on Spotify, this is a dope artist from Bayshore, Long Island, as you say, Bigger Shore,
Yes, sir.
by the name of Spoda. Spoda, what's going on, man?
Peace, man. Chilling, man. You know, same old. It's grinding.
Definitely grinding like that song, Definition of a Hustler, man. That's one of my
Right.
favorite tracks on this, man. Definitely. So before I get into the big questions that I got, man, we're gonna start from the beginning because I want people to really get to know your story.
Right.
So if you're with us on this, when I put this out, I want y'all to jump in the whip with me. We're gonna take a nice little drive. We're gonna jump on Sunrise Highway. We're gonna head west on Sunrise Highway. We're gonna pass exit 39. We're gonna pass exit 41. And where we gonna end up at? 42? Is that exit 42 by you?
Yup.
We're going 42, man. So when we get off at exit 42, that's where you come in at. Take us to your childhood, how it was before you got into music.
Um, it was fun. Like, it wasn't no social media, so we was outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing things that kids do. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
The best era, the
bro,
90s.
the best ever. Yeah, man. Just having fun. Like, having fun with my friends on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, the oldest of four. So I was like the guinea pig, so to speak, of the siblings. So I went through. I'm the oldest by 4 years. So I went through and seen a lot before my other siblings were born and stuff. But yeah, I had a regular child. Came up. It wasn't anything it was cracked up to be. Struggling, regular, everyday life stuff. But yeah, always outside like that. It was no social media, so everything was like, what I'm saying, more in the physical. You know what I'm saying? We ain't have just to distract us, and we actually could live the life we kid.
Manhunt,
Fact.
tag, ball,
Yes. Well,
man.
yes.
Y'all
Fact.
young cats don't know nothing about that, man.
Fact.
And I hate to age myself, but I'm an 80s baby.
Right.
And just like you,
Me
man,
too.
like
That's a fact.
that was a special era, man. It was nothing like riding bikes and you see all the bikes in front of your friend house and you knew it was
Right.
popping, man. That was the house
Right.
you saw more than 3 bikes outside. It was about to be a great weekend, man.
Fact. And you had to go to their house, knock on the window. Oh, Miss Such Such, come outside. I'm saying if they not already outside, like.
Yo, so before you got into music, I think I was doing my homework and you said you got into sports. I don't know if that was
Right.
before high school or junior high.
Yeah, I started running track. Yeah. I started in the winter of my junior year. My coach still, shout out Coach Deck, still to this day he be pissed, like, why you ain't, where you been, why you ain't start early, like if you would have started, he like middle school, but even if I would have started in ninth grade, like, you know what I'm saying, because the times I was running for long distance running, he was shocked, like, why you never tried to do this before. Like, I never was into the track, and my mans used to always try to give me do, like, yo, come down, man, I'm telling you, like, man, I'm not getting in those short ass shorts running around, man, like, not knowing I was like my hidden talent. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause I always was a runner. Like, even in school, running a mile, I would always come in first all the time. Like, I just was always a distance runner.
Man, my
And then
first
yeah,
mile,
and once I
man.
started, and he molded me, and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's another reason why I went to college. Outside of like really wanting to go. Like you know what I'm saying? I had something to look forward to outside of the academics. So sometimes I still beat myself up over the fact I wish I would have started earlier too. But things happen. It's a learning experience. I had fun. I definitely had a lot of fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? And got a lot of recognition and medals and trophies and all that. So I'm grateful for the time I had doing it. Definitely.
That's what's up, man. Is it? I like to ask this because I interviewed a few artists that went to school. I want to say one of the first artists I interviewed, Murder Mook, back in the days. I didn't know. He said he had like a bachelor degree from somewhere.
Right.
Is there anything that you learned in college or even in high school that you transfer over into what you do as an artist?
Uh, like as far as like what you mean, like?
It could be something as simple as soft skills, like being a people's person, being on time
Oh
for
yeah. That's
class.
definitely me. Definitely a people's person. Definitely being a people person. Like I was always known in my hood in school. Like people just always knew Spoda. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a people person.
You want to shout out the college you went to? And the reason why I
Oh,
do that
I
because
went to St. Francis College. Shout out to St. Francis College in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I went there for like a year and some change. I stopped going because I was going for information technology, but it was like it's
let me
D1 plus it's private, so it was 30 a semester. So even with the grants and the scholarship money,
let me
it was
salute
too
you for that,
crazy.
man. Let me
It was
salute you
too
for that
crazy.
because I think I DM'd you before this. Like I actually, that's what I got my degree in, information
Right,
systems. And I went to a private school out in Long Island. And I think even though you said you didn't finish, man, you at least attempted. You at least got
right.
some credits in.
And I was the first one in the family actually to, you know what I'm saying, further education. So that made a lot of my family members proud. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because I actually, me being young and not knowing, I'm looking at D1 because of sports. But the Farmingdale coach, Sweeney Farmingdale, was watching me also. You know what I'm saying? My last one of my last meets that I ran, the Long Island Challenge, I ran the actually won the 3200, the 2 mile, and it was at Farmingdale State College. And I didn't know he was watching me, so he wanted me to go there, and I could have got a free ride, but I had already, you know what I'm saying, was already like dealing with St. Francis. But that's like one of the things I wish I could have took back, like, because I could have went there and had a free ride, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm thinking, not knowing also that in certain sports they deal with D1 teams, so it's like it would have worked out for me. But I was young, I didn't really know the ins and outs, and you know what I'm saying, like big schools, small schools, like certain schools do go against each other, even if they're in different, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, damn. But yeah, man, that was another learning experience that I wish I would have took that opportunity.
Shout out to Farmingdale. That's where I used to live at for 10 years. Route
Right. Yeah,
109,
man.
Staple Street.
Yeah.
Um, before you got into music, you talked about, I guess, how you got your name. I believe you
Right.
said you got your name working in a barbershop, if my homework is correct.
Yes.
Can you
Yep.
walk me
Yep.
through how you got your name and then what really stamped you for the rhymes that you started kicking at that age?
Shout out Corporal Hiders, formerly known as One Guy Barbershop. Yeah, man, I was a sweeper, the errand boy, and I was young, just you know what I'm saying, just being a young man, you know what I'm saying, hard headed, always had an attitude when they was telling me certain things to do, and oh, he never do what he's supposed to do. He hard headed, and then that name just stuck. Spoda. He never do what he's supposed to do, and that name stuck with me since middle school, and I had it all my life still, and I just kept it as my rap name. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, once I started like kicking rhymes and got solidified in my hood, like people who knew me, they knew my story coming up. Like it wasn't easy for me. Like I was the youngest out of like my little group of older men and all that. Like I had my boys my age, that we had like our boys that was a couple years older. They was rapping. They wasn't jacking my first rap. Like they definitely wasn't jacking the first rap. But that was like my motivation. So once I really came back out and I was confident and I started just rapping, everybody just it just caught wildfire in my hood, and everybody knew about it. And every time they see me, oh, yeah, this my little man. I'll have him go against anybody. And back then, that's when we used to be rapping out of the composition book. So I always had my book with me. I was always ready. Even in school, we was battling every morning. Like that was just part of the everyday routine.
I hate to put you on the spot. Do you remember your first dope rhyme that you can remember? If you can't decide, but I know some artists be like, yeah, I remember that first rhyme that just had them like, ah.
I can't. It's cause you know what? Cause I done wrote so much since then. Yeah, it's yeah. It would be hard. I'll have to sit down and come back with that one. Definitely.
Yo, so one thing living in Long Island, when we talk about, I'm not from Long Island, but I lived there a long time with the college. I pretty much became a man out in Long Island. When I started doing my homework on Long Island as far as hip hop, I was like, yo, NYC get a lot of love, no doubt. That's where it started at the Bronx. But
Right.
when you look at the artists that came from Long Island, man, producers, EPMD,
Yes.
Rakim, LL
Kim.
Cool J.
Yep.
Here's an underrated one that I'm gonna want some of y'all to do y'all homework on. Hempstead, Long Island, A plus, Child Prodigy. Put out
Oh
a hell.
yeah. Yeah, man.
A lot of people forget about that young boy, but he put
Yeah,
out an
man.
album back then when he was selling cassette tapes, and I think it went gold under Kedar Entertainment.
Right.
Product of GMB. They don't they don't know what Product of GMB is. Hempstead, Long Island. Keith Murray, Busta
Yep.
Rhymes, underground artists like Rock
I
Marciano.
was just about to say that. I was just
Like
about to say that.
the list is so long. I think Method Man grew
Yeah.
up out there in his
Yep.
teenage years.
Yep.
So from producers to artists, hell, I even think there's some underground blogger that's running around. I want to say his name is S Biscuit. He
Yep.
claimed
Yep.
like
Yep. This from out here. Yep.
it's so much talent that came from Long Island from the 80s to the 90s, and they don't like people just gloss over it.
Yeah.
When you think
Yeah.
when you think of them legendary artists, producers, R&B singers, rappers, which one of them pretty much influenced you growing up in Long Island?
Um. That's a good question. Truthfully, a little bit of all of them, if you want to be real. You know what I'm saying? Because after I found out where they were from, knowing that I'm from there also, you know what I'm saying? Like not the same exact town, obviously, but from Long Island. I'm like, oh, like you said, there's a lot of big names, like pioneers. So I'm like,
Pioneers.
man, caught me off guard. Like, but definitely, because I listened to all of them at one point. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a mixture of all of them. And then being that, like I said, I'm from the same place they are. That motivated me more. Like, man, like we got some legendary people from here, and it definitely gets overlooked. It's like it's some if you know type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't, then you got to go double back and do your research. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
word.
If you had to do a little Long Island Mount Rushmore, who would you put on there?
Oh, you gotta put Rakim. Of course, I was Rakim. Was it Rakim, LL? Yeah, you them two definitely. No particular order. EPMD. Um, man, that's good, man. Cause there's a lot of people. I, I'm not even gonna front. You can even Bismarck Eve. I would throw Biz up there. I would throw Biz up there. I ain't gonna front.
That's a hell of a Mount Rushmore right there.
Yeah, yeah, man.
So when I did my homework, it said you pitch your verse in the studio at 16.
Right. Yeah, that's
Can
yep,
can you walk me through that? That's pretty much high school years.
right.
Who brought you to the studio? How did you get off?
Shout out DJ Splash, aka my boy Lil Bobby. I was just actually talking to him a couple days ago on Facebook, and I brought that up about me recording my first verse with him. That's when I shout out my man's full Q. We used to go by a little clique called Bogart when we was younger. They a couple years older than me though, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, once I finally came back and I started, cause like I said, they dubbed my first rap. So once I got myself together and I got confident and I got the pen floating and everything, they started hearing me like, oh nah, we got to get you in the studio. So we went to my boy little Bobby studio. At the time, he's living in Brentwood on the north side. He had a little setup in the basement and all that. Yeah, my man's like, oh, you ready now? Now you ready? Yeah, now let's go take you to the studio. We gotta get you in the studio. I'm like, all right, bet. I wasn't even really nervous because by that time I had already was running around the hood rapping. Now I done solidified myself. I was battling, just rapping, doing the talent shows. You know what I'm saying for high school and yeah, man. What was the name? I think the song's called Bulldoze and everything that we did. Yeah, and that was my first verse that I spat in the studio. Word 16.
So when we started off this interview, we talked about great eras. So if I do my math correctly, that's pre-internet. There is no Facebook.
Yes, yeah,
There is no
yes,
YouTube. There
Nothing.
is no well, kind of like DSPs to upload it quickly and get
Right, right.
recognized. This was when you actually had to go around to neighborhoods, barbershops, talent shows, as you said, and really prove who you were if you actually wanted
Yes.
to get into it.
Right.
Can you remember that time? How was it, like, as you said, battling? How, you win some, you lose some, man.
It was yo, truthfully, and I'm gonna be real. That I can remember, I never lost a battle. Like I'm gonna be real, not even
Yo,
on
yo,
the like,
Spo, I'm gonna put this
cause
out. Somebody
everybody
gonna come
knew,
out.
cause everybody knew I could rap. Like that, everybody knew it. They was always looking, and they knew I could rap. I sit there and rap forever. Like they was always looking forward to when I rap. You know what I'm saying? Every like we coming into school in the mornings, we used to all be lined up on the heaters. Who battling today? I'm with whatever. I'm always ready to battle every day. So it don't matter who want to rap today. Like I'm rapping. Like you know what I'm saying? So man. I'm telling you, I used to live for that. So it was like I used to get adrenaline rush, and then working in the barbershop is how I got my name spread out in different towns. Because you got dudes coming from different towns and all that. Some of them rap. The barbers bigging me up like, yeah, this is my little man. He rap. Da da da. You got anybody who trying to rap? Or they knew somebody who rap who came through. They had me on the spot. Spit something right now. Rapping. Easy. Word.
So, two questions, but I'm gonna pause that one right there. Being that you was spitting in barbershops, so a lot of people don't. If you're not from Long Island, people kind of look at Long Island as the suburbs. Let's keep it real.
Yes, exactly.
I lived out there. I'm gonna be honest. When I lived in Farmingdale, I migrated from upstate New York down to Farmingdale. I remember one time I worked an overnight job, whatever. I left my car door unlocked, windows down, and I fell asleep because I was so tired. Woke up, everything was perfect. Nobody ran in my car. I was like, yo, what the? This ain't upstate New York. Nobody ain't robbed me.
Word.
You know, saying that was Farmingdale, but
Right.
every place in Long Island ain't like that. Let's not get it twisted. You do that in Hempstead, you got
Right, yeah.
You do that.
You asked me for it.
Can you talk about the misconceptions that some people kind of get when you tell them you from Long Island and you a rapper? Because sometimes, again, people.
Or that or nah, we've heard the names we just named. Oh yeah, yo, such and such from there. Like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never knew about Long Island like that until I knew they was from there. You know what I'm saying? And then they make them go back and do their history. But yeah, they be thinking
Thinking it's sweet.
Suburbs is sweet. Like, man, there's a hood everywhere. There's bad energy everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And then when I go out of state, or even when I was incarcerated for a year and I was locked up out of state, this dudes who know of people who have been there before, like, nah, Long Island, I heard about Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it ain't sweet out there like dudes think. Like, it's crazy out there. Like, yeah, it's crazy anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everybody get that misconception. Like, it's like, especially like central and out east Suffolk. They look at that like especially if you go out east. That's like the country. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that
saying?
is that's my grandparents out in Selden. Yeah,
Fact.
Quorum
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
that's like the country. But yeah, they think everything is just like suburban and just everything is happy go lucky and all good. It's like, nah, man.
But getting back to the era, because I want to harp on that. That was a special era that you started rapping in. We talking about D Block had that unlocked. Cameron,
Yes.
G Unit just started doing the thing underground.
Yup.
This was, I want to say 50 just got shot, and I don't want to be
Yup.
funny about it, but that was a special era, that early 2000 era before the internet. Can you talk about how that pretty much framed or had any influence on you as an artist? Because
that era right there had the biggest influence. Of course, the '80s, because I grew up in the '80s. Listen, but that into the '90s, but the 2000 era, early 2000 era, that was my era. Like, that was when a lot of my favorite music was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. Yeah, that definitely molded me into the artist I am today. That's era specifically. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on those. Like, I didn't really grow up on, like, I listened to hip hop in the '80s, but I didn't grow up on those artists because they were old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that era was perfect. Like, that was, yeah. Oh, that was a time right there, man.
yeah, I want to jump back real quickly to one Long Island artist because he was just in the media, and it's actually an artist I grew up on. Well, my pops grew up on, LL Cool J. Just real quick.
Right.
So LL Cool J just released a statement where he was like, one day, maybe 20 years from now, people are gonna wake up to the fact that I'm the reason why some of y'all is rapping. Do you
It's
think?
the truth.
Do you think LL Cool J?
Like, you got to put him at the top. Like even when I said no specific order with him and Rakim, it's like you have to. He opened the doors. He opened the doors for
Would
a
be no Def
lot
Jam.
of people. Like exactly. So it's like if you know, you know. You got to put him up there, even if you don't really have a liking to his music like that. Just in general, you gotta give him that. You gotta give him that. Like definitely a pioneer. Like for real, for real.
Mm. So I want to jump a little bit into currently some into your discography. So doing my homework again, you said you put out your first official tape on Dat Piff, if I'm
Yeah, yup.
remembering
Called the
correctly.
Arrival. Yup.
Was that 2009 or 8?
Yeah. Fact.
Can we talk about that Dat Piff era, man? And the reason why I want to frame that, I know we're going through eras.
Right.
People don't remember that if you had a run on Dat Piff, you ended up with a deal.
Yeah,
I
man.
remember cats was getting deals off of one hot mixtape on Dat Piff, man.
Fact. Fact. Fact.
Can you talk about the your experience putting out your first tape, how it made you feel as an artist, and the things that you learned specifically from that first upload?
The first thing I learned was like, this is crazy. I could actually, outside of listening to artists I listen to, industry artists, I could put my own music. You know what I'm saying? Like that was dope first and foremost. That was something totally new to me. I'm like, all right, the people can hear me outside my hood. Like there's other people who could just be looking up and like, who's this? I'm saying, but that experience was ill. And at that time, I wasn't even on Facebook. I was on MySpace like heavy. I had a music page and a regular page, so I had a good following. You know what I'm saying? So when I put that first project out, the feedback was phenomenal. Like the feedback was phenomenal, and that's what it's like. I could get used to this. Like and I already had that instilled in my brain, young, that everybody not gonna like me, but there was nobody that never told me I was garbage. So it was like that just kept going. Like yeah, I'm about to start putting out music. I'm about to start putting out more music. Like now that I know people could go online and listen to me, and they ain't got to be in the physical, or if they can't see me in the physical to hear it, I'm like, yeah, this is lit.
During that time period, like I said, 2009 and moving forward, that's when we started getting into the blogging area and so forth. People still moving mixtapes in the street, like
Right.
physical copies. I remember that. After that first upload, what was the next step for Spoda? Because at that time it was on. Like you had to
Yeah,
keep putting out
it was on.
projects.
I was on some. There's no looking back. There's no looking back now. Like you done now. You done stepped into the internet world with your music. Is no people is gonna be expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let them down. So I'm saying like it was just no looking back. It's just forward motion. Like we gotta keep this thing going, my boys. No, I'm saying there's no quitting. We might take some breaks, but it ain't no quitting, no giving up. Like we're gonna keep this thing going. Keep going. That's it.
So a legendary person put out, or I found a legendary clip from Quincy Jones. I don't know if it's current or if it's old. It was before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He said, music is the greatest form of communication.
Definitely.
Music is the greatest form of communication. So
Definitely.
when people listen to Spoda, when you put your message out there, whether it's 2009, whether it's 2024, what message are you giving your audience? What
That
are you trying to communicate?
I'm staying true to self, and I'm gonna always stay true to self. I'm gonna always give as much real as possible every time. You feel what I'm saying? Whether it's me personally, my peers, family members, like it's always gonna be something that's 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not going on there and just talking crazy and all that, like or rapping just to rap. Which I don't knock nobody. You feel what I'm saying? Like to each his own. Everybody got their own. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to just stay true to self at all times, like. And to have people know that you could do it too, is stay true to self. It's you. You staying true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
fact.
I want to piggyback off that point. So I want to take a moment to give you your flowers. So when I started media underground, like interviewing artists underground 2010 in the tri-state area from upstate down to New York City and so forth, it was a pivotal time in New York rap. New York still had its sound underground, but we all know what happened a few years later, which was the South. The South took
Right.
over our radio
Yeah.
stations. And I'm
Yeah.
going to say something, and then I'm going to give you your flowers. A lot of artists stay true to themselves. You're one of them. But a lot of underground artists ran to that South sound thinking it was gonna get them radio play.
Right, and they faded themselves to
And they
black.
faded themselves to black. So here's where I'm gonna give Spoda his flowers. This is what I like about you. I'm still listening to your discography, trying to learn some of your music.
Right.
When I started from Full Court Press on your Bandcamp link all the way to this, not one track was you trying to sound like the South.
No,
Not
nope.
one track was you trying to
Nope.
sound like a drill rapper.
Right.
Every single song I clicked on, whether it was YouTube, whether it was Bandcamp, whether it was this, it was you. It was
Right.
no other influence. It was no other, you gonna sound like the West Coast. You kept it Long Island. You even flipped a Keith Murray.
Right. Yes.
When he did the most
Yep.
beautifulest girl in the world, you flipped that in your hook. I said, yo, this
Right.
is Long Island. This
Right.
is Spoda. So I want to take a second to give you your flowers as an artist, because that was a hard time. Like, we got to keep it real. That was a hard time for a lot of underground artists because people felt they needed to sound like the South to get radio play and to get signed.
Right.
And it took a rare artist to say, you know what, win, lose, or draw, I'm not running nowhere. I'm gonna sound like me. So I want to big you up for that, man.
Right. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Do you remember that time though? And whether it's in your neighborhood or peers, or and you ain't got to name nobody, where you was sitting back listening to music, like, why everybody's trying to, yo, we from New York. Why everybody trying to run over there?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was even people I knew, like, yeah, like, cause I felt like niggas was scared, like, to take a walk on the wild side and go against the grain. Like, I guess they felt because that's what was going on at the time. Like, they had to be part of it, or had to switch up to that, like, because that's what was dominating at that time. Like me, nah, I'm good. Ain't nothing against the music, because I listen to some Southern artists, but I wasn't on some. I'm about to go try to sound like them, or I'm saying emulate them. Not at all. Not by any means. Like,
Mm-hmm. So I want to bring it a little current to your discography. First joint on your Bandcamp that I'm listening to, Full Court Press, produced by
Yes.
Wavy.
yes,
And I'm gonna continue to talk about Wavy, not to take away from your interview, but to connect
Right.
to connect the two
Right.
dots. How did you meet up with Wavy and start that journey on with your music?
shout out my brother Bub Rock, man. He also a fellow walker in our collective. He's from out in Nassau, actually. You know what I'm saying? I knew him since like 2008, 2009 on the local rap scene, and like I said, I got incarcerated end of 2016. I did like basically like a year. I got locked up out of state in Vermont, and I had to do 6 months out here, so I got extradited. So you know what I'm saying? So when I came home, Bub was already in the underground scene at that time for like probably like 2-3 years, going on for like 2-3 years. I didn't know nothing about this whole underground scene. So when I came home, he like, yo, he hollered at me. Like, he was one of the first people I finally chose to speak to, because I wasn't trying to speak to nobody when I came home. I was, you know what I'm saying, low, just chilling. And he's like, yo, man, it's a lane that's going. You can get some chicken out here, man. I'm like, we're going to underground. You know what I'm saying, so he put me on to whatever. He let me know what's what, like who's who, and I'm like, oh, I heard some of these names. I'm like, oh, all right. So he like, yo, I wanna. When I came home, I didn't move back to New York. I had moved down to VA with my girl, and her mom, and we was staying there, right? So I was out there probably for like a year, a little over a year. And he like, yo, I'm gonna put you on my man Wavy. Wavy had just moved from Florida to New York, so he was in New York. So I didn't know nobody in VA, nothing. I was like, as long as I find a job at the studio, I'm good. I found a job. When I found the studio, I said, oh, it's litty now. So he plugged me in Wavy. We on Facebook, we was talking, and then he like, yo, y'all see if y'all want to work on some shit. And Wavy's like, yo, I'm gonna send you something. He sent me something. We did the Lucy. What was the first Lucy that we did before Full Court Press? It was uh Talk. It was called Talk, I believe. It wound up being on the album, but that was a Lucy we had, because he just sent me a beat, cooked it. And then we started recording, like we doing everything through email, anything, because we in two whole different locations. And yeah, we just started cooking up. I cooked up another Lucy, and then he was sending me packs, and we cooked up Full Court Press. Like, that was really like it's crazy, because me and him talk about that all the time. let the people tell it, that's my reasonable doubt. Like that's my reasonable doubt of the underground. Because of course, obviously, that's how I came into the game, to the underground scene. But me and Wavy be like, that was a trial and error. That was a trial and error project for us. We ain't know what was gonna happen after we did it. You know what I'm saying? And being that it wasn't in the physical is it's not as easy as people think to do it when you're not in the physical. That's why this project came out full court press on steroids, because now we back up here. I went to Brooklyn while we record here, you know what I'm saying? And
And
we was
you
doing
referring
it.
to this?
Yeah, man. And we
Man,
and
we
we
gonna get to that.
we it was physical, like, you know what I'm saying? It was better than the physical. You get the vibe. The vibe is, you know what I'm saying? Like, through the email is cool too, but you know, it's nothing better like being in the same room with the producer or with the artist, vice versa. Like you get the real vibe. But yeah, I, this project is fire. Like both of them with Wavy is crazy, and it's crazy because me personally, I hear a lot of people tell me they hear the difference from, not even because it's just me and Wavy, just from full court press to that project and everything in between. They hear the growth, and they like, damn, this is a growth in like a 3 year span,
The growth, I wanna
4 year span, like,
I wanna piggyback off that. You know what I'm saying? The growth is bananas. Like
right.
for anybody, I don't care if it's one person that see this interview or 100 people that see this interview. The growth from Full Court Press, even other projects that he didn't produce on, just in general, just your growth
Right.
as an artist. I was vibing out last night to Audio Traffic and 1 and 2.
Oh,
Just
shout
going
out to Stand Out. That's
sifting
one of my
through it.
favorite projects too. I
I'm like,
can't
yo,
front.
you know, you had different producers. I think I saw PA Dre produce something, and I
Yes.
listened to PA Dre project because he put something together with Gully TV.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, like the growth, like just hearing you grow. I'm like, yo, this is like a dope audio journey. That's how I felt about it.
Right.
Full Court Press, Audio Trafficking, and then I even dipped and dabbled into. Let me pull it up. State of Emergency.
That was my first collective project that I did. You see, if you notice my discography, everything is one
You
producer
got a
based.
big.
That was my first one, and me and my man Bub was talking about it. He's like, yo, you need to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right. That was around the pandemic too, so I had a lot of time. And you know what I'm saying? Like me, I like to build relationships, genuine relationships with people. I don't just hit up producers like, yo, I don't do that. Like any producers I work with, we got a genuine relationship. You know what I'm saying? I still hit them up, even if we're not working on nothing, yo, it's good. You know what I'm saying? But it's always good because you never know. We might need each other again, or we want to do something again. It's easy. It ain't gonna be no running around. I know how the producer do, and the producer know how to do as an artist. So yeah, but that was my first collective, and I had some, yeah, it was some dope producers on there.
The standouts.
Yes. Of course, Wavy had to be on there. PA Dre, man, it was a lot. It was a few on there.
Tone
It was a few.
Beats.
Yes, Tone Beats, my boy Tone Beats. Yep.
Yeah. If you had to pick which one, besides the one you just released, which one would be your favorite?
I ain't gonna lie. I put me personally, I put Soul Food for Thought. Like I put Soul Food for Thought up there. Produced by Fremont. Shout out Fremont, because that was like like everything was always true to self, but I felt like that project I got more in depth with myself. Like if you never really knew me or anything really too much personal, like that project I spoke about, I touched a lot of topics. You know what I'm saying? My pops, the passing of my pops, relationship, past relationship, this is all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I touched on everything. Like I do that in my music, but that was a project that was like solely for that, and you will be able to tell why I call it Soul Food for Thought. Like a lot of them beats has samples, and I love samples, and that brings out, especially depending on the sample, when it's saying that, what gets the creative juices flowing for me, and that's how I incorporate my life into, you know what I'm saying? But and that was like one of my best musically projects put together sonically. You know what I'm saying? Musically, like, so I definitely have to say Soul Food for Thought.
Definitely. And just to touch on one of the messages. First off, rest in peace to your pops, because you touched on
Appreciate
that on Full Court Press.
Right, yeah.
Your last song was A Letter to Your Father, and
Right.
you just said that was another message in this. So I want to ask you, black man to black man, I had my father in my life. He raised me. You had
Right.
your father in your life until he transitioned.
Right.
What's one of your favorite members with you and your pops, man?
Him being proud of me for my music. Cause like I said, I didn't know. Cause he grew up in Farragut Projects in Brooklyn. They used to call him Little Brooklyn. He used to rap. He used to DJ. Like so, I didn't know like it was in me. Like even if I
Mm,
wouldn't have like planned it, it just panned out like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause all of my family members used to tell me, my aunts and cousins, like, yeah, your pops used to. So then like once he seen I was doing it and took it serious and seen I was good, like he was proud. Like he was super proud. Like super proud. Like super word.
that's dope. What's your favorite lesson from your father?
Uh, always be a man. Never give up. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Right.
definitely a lesson, man. That's definitely a lesson. I asked you what was your favorite overall project. Now I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna weave it down some. What's your favorite track?
Mm, that's crazy. I ain't gonna. Damn, it's so much. I don't even know, man.
You got a lot of bodies of work out there.
Yeah, man. And it's like when I double back and listen to this, I'll be like, damn, I forgot about this fight. Like, man, that I'm gonna have to. I have to sit for that one song. All right, so all right, boom. So I'm gonna see if I could do it like this: one solo and then like a feature. One of my favorite features I did was with and it's crazy how that happened. Wait, shout out my boy Wavy again. Um, the song I was on with it was me, Rome, and Eddie King. It was a
Rome
little
as in Rome
talk.
streets.
Yes, it was
Oh,
me,
okay.
Rome, and Kano. That was the first time me and Rome actually was on the track. But the way it happened, we got a video out for it too. This song is probably like 3 years old now. Yeah, and I think it's called Walk and Talk. And around that time, I had linked up with Wavy. I had went out there to check him. I think I was going to check him, or we had like an event or something. And he like, yo, I got a song for you if you want to hop on it on the end and anchor it. I'm like, word. He like, yeah, some shit with Rome and Kano. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let's get it. Heard it. I went home. That the song was already recorded for like a couple weeks. He's like, yo, you want to get on the end bet? I'm like, I bet. So I wrote my verse. When as soon as I got home, recorded it, and that song took off crazy. Like it had got played on late with Rosenberg radio. Like it was just catching traction. And then being that I was on the track with both of them, it started raising my stock. Now, of course, like with my following too, they following the odds on me now and vice versa. So it worked out for all of us. Like that was definitely one of my favorites as far as like a collaborative feature. And but just a regular dolo joint, one of my favorites. I ain't gonna front because I'm looking at this damn CD right now that I got with a Hobgoblin from Truth Be Told. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard. I'm really trying to think. Cause like I said, every time I think I got one, it's like it's something else. Like and like you said, I got so much work. It's like it's really hard to decipher one. I ain't gonna front. It's hard. That's crazy.
Yo, you know what's dope? You rhymed through a lot of eras. You rhymed when you started off before the internet.
Right.
You rhymed during the height of the internet. You rhymed through COVID. And then
Right.
now, like I said, how I found your music is we're now, I believe, I'm going to say this as a consumer of hip hop, I believe we're going back into selling physical copies. I
Yes.
really do. I know the
Definitely.
DSPs is out there. I know the Spotify's and all that. But like that caught my attention because of my age. Like
Right.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I was born in 1986. I'm an old head.
Yeah.
I remember supporting my favorite hip hop artists, even underground artists, by buying their physical
Fine.
music.
Yep.
So when I saw, there's, bars over BS, there's get down or something
Yeah.
records that
There's a
sell
few. Yeah.
vinyls. I'm like, hold up. Did I stumble down a rabbit hole? Because 2 years ago, it wasn't kind of pushed like that.
Nope. At all. At
And I'm like,
all.
oh, I think we found something here. So here's my message for all you underground artists and artists in general. While the record labels are taking their time coming back selling physical music, y'all be the pioneers.
Yeah.
Y'all be because you know the record labels are gonna try to capitalize. As soon as one of y'all sell 10,000 independent, here come Def Jam. Oh, we gonna start putting back out CDs and tapes.
Yup.
Y'all
Yup.
too
Yup.
late. Y'all
Yup.
too late.
By then, y'all imitating at
Yeah.
that time, at that point. So it's like, yeah,
So now that you're kind of in a space as an older artist underground, and although your music is on DSPs and you got a physical product out, again, how does it feel to go back and actually push physical copies of music?
that should feel great, man. Because then you see the fan support, them posting it. You know what I'm saying? Like that is ill. Like especially with people from all around the country. You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid from Bayshore, man, Long Island. So it's like seeing people in other states and other countries, continents supporting is crazy. Like, and the motivation is what is that's what keep me motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a dope feeling.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind me asking, because I'm still trying to do my homework on who bars over BS is, like, I don't know if they from Long Island, if they from New York, or where they from. How did you kind of stumble upon that brand or platform?
Shout out my boy Todd Farris. He's actually him and his cousin. They behind it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm glad to be a friend of his and vice versa, man. Like that's because that's a dope thing. Like for underground artists, man. Like them starting that was tough. That was tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep reaching out to underground artists in general that's doing what you guys are doing
Right.
and keep putting that story out there. Cause like I said, I don't want to see 2 years from now the Interscopes try to hop on the
Y'all
wave.
trying to yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. You guys are the wave. I don't care if you sell 100 copies. I don't care if you sell one copy.
One
You're
fact.
doing it without manipulating. We see what's going on with Drake and Kendrick. They
Yes.
talking about they manipulating the numbers and all that other crap. You
Right.
can't manipulate 20 sales, 50 sales. You got to actually sell it hand to hand, man.
Fact. That's a fact. That make you turn into a hustler, man. You gotta have that ambition, like a hustler, and it's also promotion. I'm saying the
Mm-hmm.
more you could get it out there to people, the better for you. The better look it is for you.
Getting back to you and Wavy, I know you worked with other producers. So other producers, I'm not slighting you guys. I listen to your tracks and I salute you. But I'm just gonna stick on you and Wavy for right now. When you talked about the growth, like this project that you currently got out that you released a few months ago, like the stuff, the sound that I heard, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not trying to, gas it or pour gasoline on it. I felt like, for an analogy, he was your hit boy to Nas. You know, when Nas,
Yes,
when people
yes,
were like, yo, the only thing missing from Nas is he needs a dope producer to really sit down and lock in.
right.
You worked with a lot of producers. You done did projects with Wavy before, but when I heard this, like the cutting and the scratching from the DJ, that the first track,
Right. Shout out DJ Boogie, man.
yeah, the cutting and scratching, I'm like, yo, this is well thought out, man. The message, my favorite track, Definition of a Hustler, the way that starts, I'm like,
Right. Yes, that yeah, that beat
that just
crazy.
turned my
And
head
that's
out.
crazy you
Like,
said that, I mean, because a lot of people say that they notice anytime me and Wavy do music, whether it's a project, a Lucy, people notice that, especially people who've been following me since I came in with that project, they be like, yo, every time you and Wavy never miss, like at all.
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So now that you got this project out, now that you kind of locked into a certain sound, I want to ask you, moving forward, what are you looking to do as an artist?
Truthfully, I'm looking to put out that real album. Like I haven't done it yet. Like that real official. You know what I'm saying? Where I go for the big dog producer. Where I go holler at some nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's my goal soon. Like right now, I'm just you know what I'm saying, just doing what I'm doing to keep solidifying myself. But that's my main goal. Like to sit down and make a album. You know what I'm saying? Like a real. I could be like, yo, this is my real first album. You know what I'm saying? So but I'm not really rushing that right now because that takes a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? That takes a lot of time, and I want to make sure I think that out and plan out strategically and know who I want to holler at and make sure that I can make everything happen. But yeah, that's definitely one of my goals to make that real album,
Mm.
like
And,
conceptual. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's one. But Yeah, soon enough, soon enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Hey
just keep
man,
doing what I'm doing now. It's
hey,
all
take your
lyrical
time. We
exercise for it. So
take your time, man. We in a special place, and talking
right.
about eras. I think we're in the era of the older artists, and not to age us, but I said
Yeah,
my
yeah.
age.
It's a
You put
fact
your
though.
age out there in another interview. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I'm not saying it's cool, but it's acceptable now for an older artist in hip hop to keep pushing. I remember back
Yes.
in the days, they was like, "Oh, you don't want to be 35 and rapping."
And right, yeah,
Do
man.
you like my favorite underground artists? You're one of them, but like two of them are well over 40. I'm not
Right,
talking about 41. They like 45 and up. Ransom
right.
is like darn near 45. Rock
Yeah,
Marciano ain't no young cat neither. Like these
right,
guys are
right,
older. So
right.
how do you feel, saying not to put your age out there, but knowing that there's some longevity in hip hop, like you don't gotta rush it. It ain't like, oh man, I ain't dropped this album at 30, I'm done.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I like it, man. You can move at your own leisure, you know what I'm saying? You could control your own narrative of things. So like that's why I love it. You know what I'm saying? You could do what you want, man.
Mm. Got a couple more questions and I'm gonna wrap
Yeah.
this up. I asked, certain goals, but what is something that you haven't done that you wish you would have done maybe in the past, musically?
Um hmm. That's a good question. Something that I
Certain times artists be like, yo, man, this producer slipped me this beat and I kind of brushed it off and then they threw it to
Yo,
this
there's been
artist and,
times
it, and
like
then
that.
it
I ain't gonna
turned
front.
up.
Yeah, man. And
You
then I hear it,
like,
or
oh
to
man.
me it won't sound like it's hitting at first, and I dub it and use like certain other beats, and then I hear somebody else on it and be like, fuck, like nah, this shit ain't sound. Why it ain't sound like this before? Like it sound ill. Like some. That's why now I stop rushing. I stop skimming and scanning through beat packs. Like I really sit there and you know what I'm saying I play it through my speakers in my studio, and so I can hear every little piece. So, because sometimes if I listen to it through my phone, I don't hear everything clear. And then I go on, I hear every little certain little instrument might catch me. And I'm like, oh, all right, nah,
Mm.
this is what made this beat fire. You know what I'm saying? That I couldn't hear it on another device or something else. So, but yeah, I did that a few times, and I kicked myself in the ass like, damn, man, like that's crazy.
So what's coming up next for you? I know you just dropped the album and trying to live life and do what you got to do. What's coming up next from Spoda that we can look for a month or 2 months or 3 months down the line?
Shit, truthfully, I'm about to drop again, man. I'm gonna drop again before the year's over,
All
man. I'm
right.
dropping again, man. I'm dropping again. It's two that I might. I think I'm gonna drop with Saya. Shout out Saya on the beat. Me and him.
Okay.
There's no title yet. Like the mixing and mastering is done. I'm just gotta think of a title. You know what I'm saying? Get the cover art. But yeah, I'm dropping again before the year's over, bro. And then 2025 is just letting music fly. I got a lot of music in the tuck. You know what I'm saying? Projects that's either damn near done, just unmixed and unmastered yet sitting on my computer. So now it's time to sit down and start strategically planning out what drops I'm gonna do for next year and all that. So I could just keep this thing flowing.
Last question.
Hmm.
And I don't want to keep harping on this because I know sometimes it might be a sensitive topic.
Right,
Um, you made your track Full Court Press. The last one was a letter to your father.
right.
With all the growth that you did as a man, as an artist, as a human being, now at this stage in life, if you could ask your father one question, what would it be from now?
Did you expect me to make it this far with it?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I could have easily gave up. There was many times like I tell a story. It's crazy. You probably gonna like, yeah, right. Like, but was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Whole computer crashed. I didn't know nothing about backing it. People used to tell me, "Yo, get your external hard drive, bro." Da, 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 da. Shit happened on April Fool's Day 3 years ago. So I go on my Facebook. I'm like, "Yo, I ain't gonna front. I broke down crying. I had at that. I mean, now I
I feel
double
you.
back. Praise the Lord for my work ethic. I double back and made that up times 10. But at that time, I had well over 100 songs on my computer, like well over. You feel what I'm saying? So that tore me up crazy. I didn't even know how to fathom it. Like I was ready to call it quits. You feel what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna front, but like I said, shout out my boy Top Farris. We was talking in the Walker's group chat one day, and he like, "Yo, you got all the beats in the rhyme still, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He like, so you good, bro? He's like, and I'm only telling you that because I've been through this before. He's like, now I can see if you lost all the beats and you couldn't recoup them and you lost all your rhymes. But he's like, you could get it back. He's like, you know what you got to do. You know your work
Got put
ethic.
in
And
that work.
then I'm like, man, I can't have this shit. And I just turned up. I redid all that, and now I'm at like I'm at a couple hundred songs now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I bounced back. But that experience right there was crazy for me, and I definitely learned my lesson. Like I definitely like at least once a month now I back it up. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Yeah,
No Diddy.
word. But yeah, I definitely do that once a month now, so I know for sure if anything, knock on whatever happens, it's good. You know what I'm saying? I just plug in and I'm good. Everything's still there. But yeah, that was crazy.
Definitely, man. So definitely want to thank you for taking time
I
out of your
appreciate
personal
you, man, for
schedule
real, man. I
on my little
appreciate you for real.
podcast for you sitting up here giving me an interview, man. As a consumer of hip hop and as somebody who interviews Cats Underground, I definitely want to salute you for what you do, keeping pushing, staying true to yourself, staying true to the Long Island, New York sound.
Definitely,
I'm looking forward to more music from you, to more different producers, different
definitely.
collaborations, man. Anybody you want to shout out before we get up out of here?
Shout out you and your team, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out the Walkers. Shout out all my right hand mans, aka my brothers. Shout out my family. Shout out all the supporters. You know what I'm saying? Near and far. Shout out the haters too. Shout out everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. Word.
Definitely, man. So again, before the end of the year is out, I'm be looking forward to that
Oh
project,
yeah,
man.
definitely. You know I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna definitely hit you up. I'll even send it through. You know what I'm saying? You'll definitely know. You'll definitely know. I'll definitely send you that email. That's a fact.
Definitely. And I'm gonna keep this up too. I'm gonna keep reaching out. If you got any other artists you working with, I definitely
Yeah.
want to talk to them from the underground,
Okay. Yeah.
man.
I got you.
Keep this
I
thing
got you.
going.
I definitely got you.
To the people that's gonna watch this on the playback when I put this out there, like I said, whether it's one person, 100 people, 50 people, or however, I definitely appreciate your support, man. I'm gonna keep these underground gems coming, man. Again, one half of Enveonline. I'm Son of a Jones, and I appreciate the good brother Spoda for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Salute, man. Have a blessed day.
Appreciate you, bro.
Definitely.